Hello, my movie peeps. Thank you again for clicking on an episode of Side Flick. My name is Chris. Let's dive into some movie news. Some of the things we're going to be discussing here today, guys, is, believe it or not, we have another Resident Evil movie reboot in the works. We got an update on the live-action Minecraft movie, 3 new Star Wars films that just got announced. Really, that along with so much more, so I'm going to need you guys to give me your opinions down below with everything we discuss here today. As a quick shameless plug, guys, I wanted to let you know your boy made it into a Chucky documentary. Now, this isn't sponsored or anything, but if you go to the service Screambox, you'll be able to find a documentary titled Living with Chucky. This documentary was created by Kyra Elise Gardner, the daughter of Tony Gardner, the special effects artist in charge of making Chucky come to life in every movie. In the documentary, she details what it was like growing up in a world surrounded by Chucky, even interviewing a lot of important people from the film, sometimes even revealing new facts you never knew about the Chucky franchise. And I do make a rather small cameo, but still, I am in there. So I just thought I'd let some of you Chucky fans know about that. But with that out of the way, let's dive into some movie news. And one of the things I want to discuss here today is we got the release for a new Indiana Jones trailer. Star Wars Celebration happened yesterday night or this morning in the UK, whichever time zone you want to agree with. And with Lucasfilm there, they debuted a new trailer for Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. And to me, this trailer was just an improvement from the previous one. I already loved what they showed us in that first trailer, but here you get a sense more of the story and what's going to be going down in it. Harrison Ford is looking fantastic. Not just old man Harrison Ford, young man de-aged Indiana Jones looks great. I'm getting more and more excited every minute with this movie coming by, and when they just twinkle in those little Indiana Jones notes, goosebumps, tears start to swell up. Last Indiana Jones movie, man, it's gonna break my heart. Still, it was a fantastic trailer, so a definite treasure for me. Jumping on from there, talking about some movie news, one thing that got revealed that I'm like, really? We're gonna keep trying with this? Geek Vibe Nation, that has proven themselves reliable in the past with giving us updates on character descriptions for like the Scream franchise, as well as the Five Nights at Freddy's franchise, even letting us know some cast members before they got officially announced. So knowing that they have a good track record, I am shocked to hear this news right here that Resident Evil reboot in the works titled Resident Evil The Umbrella Chronicles. And well, the title that they're using for this movie is based off a 2007 Wii Resident Evil game that kind of retells the story of some of the past Resident Evil games. It's not necessarily considered a fan favorite here, and honestly, I feel like they're just going to use the title of the game and try to tell another story. But this will be like, what, the 4th, 5th time they just keep trying to push Resident Evil out? We had a reboot not that long ago that the story was actually super faithful to the early couple games, even taking direct shots from the video game and implementing them into the movies. People were not happy with the way they casted that film, and even once I saw it, it was kind of a letdown. Even just knowing the basic Resident Evil game structure, you would think it's not that hard to just kind of replicate that on screen in a way that fans would enjoy, kind of like what they're doing with Last of Us and all these other video game adaptations, but they just cannot seem to nail it down. The only other thing they have going for it here is they did mention Paul W.S. Anderson, who was the director of those first 4 Resident Evil movies that have grown a cult following. He will be a producer on this new movie. He won't direct it, but he's going to be a producer, maybe showing that it's going to be connected to the universe of the previous Resident Evil movie series. This to me feels just like the beating of a dead horse. You need to kind of give Resident Evil a bit of a break. Right now, you're doing a great job remaking those games and keeping fans happy there. Let them be happy with that, and then in a couple years, try doing something again. But this just don't seem like it's gonna work. What do you Resident Evil fans think about a new rebooted Resident Evil movie? Something else that got revealed earlier in the week here today is we got a major update on the live-action Minecraft movie. Now, if you guys have been following my channel, you know we've talked about this live-action Minecraft movie for a whole year. The current update we had on it is that director Jared Hess, who both gave us Nacho Libre and Napoleon Dynamite, 2 films I actually really adore, he'll be the one directing the movie, and it'll also be starring Jason Momoa. Well, the update we got this week is we finally have an official release date coming out April 4th, 2025. That is going to be 2 years away, but hopefully it will be worth it, man. I have no idea what they could do with a live-action Minecraft movie. I was hoping that maybe it would be a hybrid film where like there's the outside world, then they get sucked into the Minecraft world. Also, there's just such an expanded world of Minecraft. It's kind of like Legos. It's like, what story could you tell? They managed to pull a good one with Legos. Maybe they could do it with Minecraft. But man, if the Mario movie is anything to take into account, critics are going to be expecting an Oscar-level story. So you're not allowed to make a fun Minecraft movie. Write that down. Write that down, write that down! I'm sure it'll still be fun and a good kid movie. I'm curious to see how this turns out. Curious to hear from you guys. You see the release date for the Minecraft movie. Jason Momoa is attached. What other actors would you like to be in this universe? Bringing it now here to talk about the Five Nights at Freddy's movie. It's been about 2 days now since Jason Blum not only revealed to us the first look to the film, he let us know it'll be releasing this year, October 27th, 2023. I made a video talking about the first look and the release date, and the only hiccup I had about it is like, man, I wonder if it being released on streaming and theaters the same day could be an early red flag to the quality of this movie. Well, thanks to actor Christian Stokes, who is going to be playing the character of Hank, most fans believing he'll play Henry Emily in the movie, a co-founder of the pizzeria. He wanted to appease fans like me that were acting a little paranoid with a release that the studio gave him about why they chose to do this, so let's read it. Like our Halloween movies, the Five Nights at Freddy's movie will premiere in theaters and on Universal Comcast streaming platform Peacock at the same time. Universal and Comcast believe that because the fanship Scott has built over the last decade is so varied and intense, a simultaneous release is the best way to turn the Five Nights at Freddy's movie into a huge cultural event. Anyone looking for that communal experience can see the film in theaters. Superfans can re-watch it on Peacock and catch all the Easter eggs. The way the consumers will experience the marketing campaign is that they'll be directed to theaters first and only later to Peacock. It is very rare to have an opportunity with a big corporation entity like Comcast where we have a huge vested interest in making as many people aware of the movie as possible. This bodes well not just for the film, but for any potential subsequent five-night films. Alright, so kind of summarizing there and breaking it down into more layman's terms here, this actually does put me at ease a little bit. Because while some people are worried about like the box office for Five Nights at Freddy's, I know it's still going to end up making a profit or at least turn some sort of revenue where the movie's not going to bomb. I think the fan base is just too big. Paired in with the fact that Blumhouse makes these movies so cheap, it's guaranteed to turn a profit. To me, it was the quality aspect of the movie, you know, because the last 3 movies that Blumhouse and Universal did this to was Halloween Kills, Halloween Ends, and Firestarter. You can kind of see a trend going on there. You know, they didn't do this to movies like Black Phone or Megan. But still, that's not to say there aren't great movies that go straight to streaming. I mean, for one, Sick was a movie that premiered on Peacock this year, and I ended up really loving that movie, but I understand why it didn't go to theaters. It's a simple slasher movie that has COVID elements. If you marketed that to the public, no one would have gone to theaters to go see it. And that's why sometimes good movies can end up on streaming, because they know if you market it to the people, they might not show up to the theater. And it does give me a little bit more confidence that they're excited for this film when they say they're going to market it to theaters and Peacock later, because that's one giant issue I had with Halloween Ends. The marketing for Halloween Ends was terrible. We got like 1 poster, 2 trailers, and then random TV spots. There was no big push for the final film in the Blumhouse trilogy, which was kind of insane to think about, and now we know they were just trying to dump it on Peacock. But them saying, no, we're gonna have a big marketing campaign, and we're really gonna focus on the theater part, but also let them know it's on Peacock if you want. That lets me know, okay, they're willing to spend that marketing budget on it and not hide the movie. So this does give me a little bit more faith, but this is why I throw it back to you guys. You see the studio's response to why they decided to put it on Peacock and theaters? How do you feel about it? Bringing us now here to talk about some Star Wars. Now, you guys know around the channel, I am a casual Star Wars fan. I enjoy the movies that go to theater, but I don't end up watching every show on Disney+. It also doesn't help that the fan base can sometimes be so toxic that it's not fun to talk about. But with Star Wars Celebration in the UK, they recently announced 3 new movies, so let's go through them. I'm going to be listing them here from the ones I'm least excited for to the one I'm most excited for. Starting off here, we have one movie that got announced that Dave Filoni will be directing that'll be the culmination of the Mandoverse. Now, Dave Filoni right now is a super beloved person amongst hardcore Star Wars fans, and it looks like this movie he'll be directing will kind of be like the ending chapter for like the Mandalorian series and all those other live action series that Dave Filoni has worked on. It'll be a great chance for the Mando and Grogu to show up in live action, maybe even Ahsoka Tano, and the only reason it's on the least excited for me is just because I said I'm a casual fan. I've never watched the animated stuff like Rebels or Clone Wars, and Dave Filoni gets really ingrained in some of the deeper lore, and sometimes it just has me lost. That's just me being honest. But I know this is one that makes a lot of Star Wars fans excited, so I'm excited for you. The next one up here that has me more excited is we got the announcement that Sharmeen Obaid-Chinoy, hopefully I pronounced that right, will be directing a sequel to Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker that'll be taking place 15 years later from that movie, and it will bring back Daisy Ridley as Rey Skywalker following her setup up a new Jedi Order. Now, this has me excited for a couple of reasons. One, I like having Daisy Ridley back, okay? You can say all you want about Rey and the way Skywalker ended things for her story. I think she's still a cool character to follow. Along with that, I'm very happy that they're giving us a Star Wars movie set furthering the timeline. I'm tired of all these Star Wars projects that are set in the past, in between certain projects, little time frames where you didn't know something was going on. It's like, let's move the story forward, man. And it'll be kind of cool to see what Rey has learned from her experience with Luke and other Jedis and what she does in starting her own order. It also makes you wonder, there's a real possibility Grogu could be a member of her new order. We know these Yoda species be living on for hundreds and hundreds of years. We could see kind of like a teenage adolescent version of Grogu be a member of her new order. That's again me as a casual fan. That might have sounded stupid. Was that stupid, Star Wars fans? Tell me. I do hope John Boyega and Oscar Isaac are involved, but if they're not, oh man, that's gonna suck. Oh, and last thing, does this count as episode 10, or is this just gonna be like its spin-off thing, you know? Or is Disney and Lucasfilm even doing that anymore? Are they done with the episode saga and are just gonna give us random movies? Because this feels like the logical next movie, right? This has to be episode 10. But the one that has me most excited as a casual Star Wars fan is this one that is gonna be directed by James Mangold, that'll be telling a biblical epic about the first Jedi in Star Wars history. This movie is going to be taking place 25,000 years ago, and we will kind of see the start and birth of the Force. And it's been a long time since I've been excited for some Star Wars stuff. This has me excited. James Mangold is a freaking fantastic filmmaker. What he did with Logan, Ford v Ferrari, what he's about to do with Indiana Jones. So far, this man has not steered me wrong, and I can tell he's going to give us something epic. The fact that it's also being set 25,000 years ago makes it so far removed from any Star Wars canon, lore, and setup that I, as a casual fan, can feel fresh going into it, and I don't have to think about, did I watch 10 seasons of this show and also this Disney Plus series and all these other 3 movies? It'll be something just to really easily go into and go, all right, let's see the birth of Star Wars. Even just thinking about what that world could look like 25,000 years ago, is there even any advanced technology? Is it going to have kind of like a Western feel to it? Really tons of endless possibilities for that. So that's the one that has me the most excited. But we also have to talk about the obvious elephant in the room. These Star Wars projects get announced and canceled all the time. I know there's that fan base that hates producer Kathleen Kennedy for always doing this, and I can understand it from that point of view, man. You gotta stop announcing or letting people know that, like, Taika Waititi's writing a new Star Wars movie, and then months later or years later we find out, oh, that's canceled, that's actually not happening, we're gonna move on with something else. It makes it hard to get excited for projects like this, because while some of these movies do seem like, oh, this could be fun, Star Wars is coming back, in a couple months time we could find out James Mangold never got the finished deal. They're actually not gonna move forward with his movie. They're gonna pull a friggin' Patty Jenkins and let him film a whole commercial and then forget about that project. I hate to be one of those like idiots online that go, Disney ruined Star Wars, but Disney is bringing this Star Wars brand a couple of notches, man. I remember when Force Awakens was about to come out and the Star Wars hype was like through the roof. Everyone was so pumped and excited. I don't feel that anymore for Star Wars. I see people just kind of go, that's cool, I'll see if I check it out. And that's it. Then again, that's just from my viewpoint as a casual fan. I know there's still people super in love with this franchise. They have hope every time a new project is announced, and I'm rooting for this, man. I want fans to be united and happy again. But this is where I throw it off to you guys. You hear these Star Wars projects announced from least to most excited. Where do these fall for you? And what do you think the percentage chance is that any of these get canceled or even happen? But that is all movie news we currently have going on right now, guys. I want to thank you so much for taking time out of your day to watch me talk some movie news. Don't be forgetting to hit that like button. Subscribe if you haven't already. Follow me on Twitter at 3C Films or on TikTok at 3C Films. But as always, I'm Chris. Take care.